everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Catalina and I'm the person behind by Katarina Design, and in this week video I'm planning to show you what I was working on, of course, as usual. And this week I'm planning to work on these two projects. So I have this Jenna yarn sweater that I have only one sleeve left to work on, and I have the scrappy knitting sweater that I need to work both sleeves. So these are the two projects that I have left and in the work right now, and on these two projects I will be working if I won't start something new. Because after having the big Glam Poncho blouse posted, I had so many requests about starting about making a knitting version, and I was so tempted to accept the challenge. So I started to make a swatch. I'm trying to remove it now from the blocking board, because usually with the crochet I don't really block every swatch, because I kind of know my tension, I kind of know how, and the fabrics. Only if I'm not sure about the fabrics, then I might want to try and see how the fabric will react after blocking. But with knitting I had to do so, because yeah, I have this lace stitches that will substitute the V stitches from the crocheted version, and I needed to know, because they are, while you're working on them, they are really, the rows are not that nice and stretchy. And then I did the stockinette stitch. So I did this swatch, and I'm so eager to start on this knitting project, but I do want to finish first, because this will take me a while. I made a swatch with 3.5mm needles, and I know that I'm not that a faster knitter, so it will take me a while. So, but at least I have the swatch. I decided on the stitches that I want to use, and yeah, I think it's looking pretty. Okay, so yeah, so I'm about to work on these two projects that I just showed you, the crocheted Jenna sweater and the scrappy knitting sweater, and we will see what the week will bring us. So keep watching, maybe you'll find something interesting in this video. I started to work on the sleeve for the knitting sweater, the scrappy knitting sweater. I picked up all the stitches for the sleeves, the first sleeve. I'm using these tiny needles, and it's really funny to work with them, but I think it's a thing about practice, because I kind of, after a few rounds, I kind of got used to them, and it's working pretty fast, which I'm happy about it. But in the meantime, yesterday evening I was getting through the comments here on YouTube to engage with people and give them a sign that I'm still here, and I got a comment from Claudia, and she was asking, she has a question about the gauge, because in her country she said that she cannot find a thicker yarn. Most of the yarn that she can find is fingering, so it's pretty difficult for her to be able to make a pattern which requires for a thicker yarn. And she's asking if she's making the gauge with a different with that thinner yarn, but using the same crochet hook size as in the pattern, if having her gauge like this, if she will be able to figure out which size she will get. And I think that better than trying to figure out what size you will get, I think you can decide on the because you can do that, but you can adjust the pattern according with your gauge, because doing the gauge swatch using a thinner yarn and the same hook size, you might have a smaller gauge because the stitches have enough space being looser to get smaller, so it might be a different gauge even if you're using the same hook size. So you need to adjust the pattern according with your gauge. And instead of trying to figure out which size you will get and trying to approximate which size to make to get to your desired size, you have some tools, or you can do some math to calculate or to see how to adjust the pattern according with your gauge. And I will show you right away a few examples and do the math from it, and I will show you how you will figure out the size, but also how you can adjust the pattern according to the size that you want to make and according with your gauge. And another thing that you can do is to work with multiple strands of yarn at once. This will help you to get a thicker yarn. And you can look into Ravelry for that specific yarn in the pattern, and you can check how many wraps per inch has that yarn, and then try to see how many wraps per inch do you have using multiple strands of yarn, and approximate, if you're using 2 or 3 depending on the thickness, approximate to have the same number of wraps per inch with your multiple strands as the yarn required in the pattern, and this can be a solution to get a thicker yarn. And now let me show you how to calculate, which is the math behind it and what you should do. Okay, let's just take for example my cozy sweater design, and I check the pattern and I have 11 stitches per 10 centimeters, and let's just say that my gauge is within a yarn in the same hook size is 70 stitches in 10 centimeters. And I want to follow the pattern for size large, which my panel width will be 71 stitches. And if I'm calculating this to see how many centimeters do I have in 71 stitches, is the I don't know what is it, how it's called in English, but I will multiply this technique, this rule. I will multiply 71 with 10 and divide it by 11, and this will give me so 71 multiplied by 10 divided by 11. So I have 64.5, let's just say 65 centimeters. And if I'm calculating according with my gauge, this means that I will need to do 71 multiplied with 10 and divided by 17, which will give me 42 centimeters. Okay, so I have 42 centimeters, which if I'm looking into the pattern measurements, okay, so if I'm looking, it's not even size extra small, so it's even smaller than the extra small, because extra small has like 56 centimeters. Okay, So I will have my sweater to be really small. So how I can adjust that? So knowing that I need to have 65 centimeters for my bust width, so my panel, I will go reverse. So I know that my gauge is 17 stitches, 10 centimeters, and I know that I need 65 centimeters. And now I will do the 65 multiplied by 17 and divided by 10. By 10. And this will give me 110. So I will need to start with, not with 71 stitches, but with 110 stitches, because these 6 stitches extra will add at every 10 centimeters. So if you see that I have 6.65, it's basically you need to add 36 more stitches at least to cover the same width. So this is with the panel construction, but with different construction you have to, for example, for a round yoke you will need to know the stitches that you will have in the end for a bust width, and then to calculate how many stitches you will need there. But it's a bit of more math to adjust that pattern. And another thing that you can do, and this will apply for other constructions as well, is to see, as I said, the proportion between the two gauges. And you can divide your gauge by the designer gauge, and let's see what we get. 17 divided by 11, and I have 1.5. This means that I need 1.5 stitches to cover the width of one stitch in the pattern. And now, knowing that I need to start with 71 stitches, I will need to multiply the 71 stitches that is written in the pattern with 1.5, and I get 106 stitches, 107, which is way closer with what we calculated here, because this was 1.4 or something like this divided by 11, 171, or let's do it like this: 17 divided by 11 multiplied by 71. So see, 110 stitches if I'm getting the entire number over here, so not only the first number. So, and you should apply that 1.5. So everywhere where you see stitch number, you will multiply that stitch number in the pattern with the number that you have with your proportion. And the same for rows. If you're calculating the proportion between rows, your rows gauge and rows gauge for the original pattern, you will multiply that number with the number of rows in the pattern. Everywhere you have rows, you need to multiply it with that number. And this is how you get, according with your gauge, a more accurate or how to adjust it according with your gauge. Okay, I hope this was helpful, and it was answering Claudia's question and maybe help someone else's too. I will continue working with the sleeve and see what will be the progress at the end of this week. See you later. I'm preparing to go and pick up my daughter, and because it's a sunny weather, I was in the mood to dress up nicely. And I put my Sensu skirt. I think I designed this to be a skirt for spring, but I think it works well with high boots and tights. Let me see if I can. Oh. Okay, I feel like a totally elegant mom right now. Okay, I'm leaving. We came back from the city center. We bought a nice present for my daughter's classmate, and now because she's doing some homework downstairs, I do have a bit of time to work on something. And I put on the cozy fluffy cardigan that I needed, I think, 2 years ago because I feel really cold. And for the rest of the day, I decided to work on this sweater because I said that I want to finish this week well, not to finish, that I will work this week on this sweater and on the scrappy knitting sweater. And because I do have just a little to work on this one, because I'm almost about to, I just have a few rows and I will finish the second sleeve. So I said that it will be really rewarding if I will manage to finish it. So I decided to work on this one. And I wanted, because I wanted to thank Ellen, because it was the first time while I was receiving this, since I set up this feature, this tool on my Linktree account. So there you can go and support my work and support me. And they have a great feature that says buy me a coffee, so you can support me like thinking that you're buying me a coffee. And Alan did that, and I'm really grateful every time someone is doing a gesture like that. Even here on YouTube with super thanks or other stuff like that, I feel so grateful, and it really feels nice. So thank you so much, Ellen, for your gesture. You really made my day. I know that this happened a few days ago, but I just saw the message. I didn't know at the beginning what it's all about. And yeah, thank you so much. And now I will continue to work on this sweater. I don't want to make this video too long, so I might show up here at the end of the week and show you what my progress was, or were. I don't know. My English sometimes is so bad. Okay, so see you later, let's just say. Hello. I just want to show you something. I finished it. I washed it and now it's drying, but it's ready. It's done. I did it. Yeah, so I'm really happy that I finished this sweater. So I think now we can end up this week video because I finished the sweater. Most probably next week I will put it on and show it to you. Now it's wet and I can't try it on. With the knitting sweater is going well. I finished almost half a sleeve, so one and a half more to go. So anyways, thank you so much for being here with me this week. I hope you enjoyed this video and see you next week. Thank you. Bye.